Hello. Again, we are here to look at another figure from the Zabu Build-A-Figure wave, Ka-zar, or as I've heard some people call him, Ka-zar. It's been Ka-zar since I was a kid. He's been on cartoons. I mean, they called him Ka-zar in the cartoons. I mean, you know. Anyway, I've heard some really dumb jokes on this figure. When did He-Man join the Marvel Universe? You know, I'm not trying to do the actually of the comic book guy, but I'm like, God, you guys are really showing how dumb you are acting this way. But it falls back into that thing of, you know, when people do a video on a figure and it's like, I don't know anything about this character. I'm like, well, why do you even own it? But again, I know who Ka-zar is. I've got some of his early appearances. Not his first appearance, but I think it's like his third or fourth appearance, something in that range. Not worth anything, but you know, I think it's worth $20. But the comic, I mean, it's all right. I mean, you know, he's a guy who lived in privilege, who decided to live in the Savage Land. That's what you got, man. Okay, so let's take a look over here. You got art. And yeah, this is another one I bought for the Build-A-Figure part. That seems foolish, but at the same time, anybody who's collected Marvel Legends for a long time knows this. And yeah, I mean, I said Controller Wave was going to be my last. Oh no, wait, was it Controller? Oh, Puff Adder. My bad. I said Puff Adder Wave was going to be my last Build-A-Figure wave, but then they put out Zabu. I like Zabu. I can't help it, man. So, yep, that'll wrap. Okay, so let me get this figure open. And I already see some things I don't like, but we'll get to it in a minute. Okay, so here's Ka-zar out of the box. He comes with the grippy hands on, the graspy hands, the wrestling hands, set of fists, and he's got, gotta say it, trigger fingers. Now, people kind of bemoan that, but I do point out it's not like Ka-zar has never used a gun, and he has. So I can kind of justify it, but at the same time it is odd to have a creature, oh my, to have a character who's so Tarzan-like using trigger fingers rather than grippy hands. As a result, though, the spear is a little loose on him, and the knife is okay, but it's a little loose. That doesn't make it bad, though. I mean, I find this to be a perfectly good representation of Ka-zar. I mean, to be perfectly honest. And he falls down and goes boom. I will say the joints are a little soft, but we're not talking like tarantula looseness here. Fucking shit. Tarantula level of gumminess here. So, yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but it works. So, I know a lot of people have said this looks like the Steve Rogers face. I don't think so. I see the similarities, but I don't think it's the same. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. People are saying it's a hair transplant. I don't think it is. Looks a lot gruffer, a lot grumpier. Cat's face was a little more stern, than grumpy, so that's where I get that from. It's, you know, it doesn't look like a unique face, though, and that is the problem. It's not, doesn't stand out the way it should. I mean, Ka-zar looks a certain way, and it should be easy to mimic that. But they did. So there you go. Now, one bit to note on the accessories is the knife. The knife, you can store it right here on the belt loop. And ta-da, you're good. Now, gotta point this out because it's like an elephant in the room. Vulcan body, we have this problem. And that is this little slash right here. It is just there for gloves, but it really is distracting. Yeah, I mean, what the hell is that for? I mean, you know, I think they could have found a way to not have that on there. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they couldn't engineer it. Maybe they're just stupid. I don't know. Yeah, but I get why it's there, and I've seen it on other figures, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? So all in all, it's not a bad figure. I mean, it helps if you know who Ka-zar is. I mean, he predates He-Man, I think, by about a decade. So when people made the He-Man remarks, it was just like, oh, come on. I know your comic knowledge isn't that deep, but he can't be that bad. I mean, it's Ka-zar, for Christ's sake. But yeah, apparently it's that bad. But you know, he's a ripoff of definitely a ripoff of Tarzan, which is fine by me. I mean, I was always fine with the character. You know, at the same time, it's like people just, I don't know, they get caught up in their own nostalgia and their own, oh, I saw this first, so this must be it, and that kind of shit, and don't recognize a character who's very obviously and predominantly been a staple of the Marvel Universe for a very long time. You know, Ka-zar appeared early on in those I want to say he appeared in the mid-70s, but you know, it was when there was just big expansion of characters in the Marvel Universe, and it was establishing the world, and probably some of the best times of Marvel. Anyway, at first, you know, I was looking at it and I thought the paint wasn't that detailed, but then I got to looking and I'm like, yeah, okay, there's a difference here in the boots between the top and bottom. It's very subtle, and you know, you got a good view on the rope here on his waist. So yeah, there is some stuff. I saw somebody point out the nipples. I'm like, Jesus, are we at that point where we have to point out the nipples on action figures? I mean, I guess we are. Maybe I got old, I don't know. I just found it to be a very jarring and surprising revelation. First off, that they ever put it there. Second off, that people noticed it. I mean, that's just odd to me. If it's not odd to you, okay. Maybe I'm old, I don't know. But, you know, I will say it's a good solid representation of Ka-zar. Not perfect by a long shot. The face could use some work. But it's not like, well, if you know who the character is, it's not like you look at this and go, who the hell is that? If you know who the character is. If you don't know who the character is, yeah, you're going to say the wrong thing and look like an idiot. But that's the way it goes. And, you know, it's been a long time since they did a Ka-zar. I think it was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I remember that. But it's been a very long time. They didn't even do Ka-zar in the Marvel Universe line, which surprised me. But here he is in all his glory. I mean, Marvel Legends collectors who want a Ka-zar can rejoice. Mild fan of Ka-zar. I don't hate him, don't love him. So, you know, I kind of like this one better than I thought I would. I was going to pass on it, but I do admit I like this one better than I thought I would. Especially the knife on the back. I thought that was a nice touch. So, you know, yeah. Shanna the She-Devil is next, so hopefully I would like to see her in the line, and then, you know, that would probably be it for my Savage Land guys, but, you know, who knows. Anyway, I think that will wrap this one up. I'll say I like it better than I thought I did, or thought I would. That's one of the few times in this wave I've been able to say that. So, kind of glad I picked this one up. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to do all the YouTube stuffs. You guys take care.